Hello and welcome back. For these cards, I was inspired by Mirisha. I hope I'm saying her name right. I always worry that I'm not going to. Anyway, I will leave her information in the description box below. So she has an Instagram account and a YouTube account. I recommend you check her out. Alright, so I have some acetate and some alcohol inks. These are from Ranger. And I have some blending solution. So all I'm doing is dropping the colors here, there, and wherever on my acetate sheet. Now, I've had alcohol inks for a while, and I've played around with them a small amount, and they've mostly just been sitting on my shelves collecting dust. But when I seen Mirisha's card, I thought it was so pretty that I just had to try something similar myself. Now, I didn't do exactly what she did. I used her card as inspiration. But I do think I like hers better. But maybe that's just being me hard on myself. Hers is very pretty. So yeah, definitely go check it out. So I don't have one of the little air puffer things. I just use a straw and I blow on it. Just don't be breathing in the alcohol ink fumes. But this is just me playing around. And I got my fingers all messy. Because, well, I don't think I've ever seen anybody use alcohol inks for any amount of time and not get messy. Yeah, not really sure what I was trying to attempt here, but it started to look kind of watery to me, which was not my original plan, so I did decide to make 2 cards, which one sheet of acetate, the one that I have linked, will make 2 cards of similar size. Now I'm going to set this one to the side to dry. It is heat resistant, so I could heat it, but I didn't want to risk warping it too bad. Now I'm on to my next one. So I opted to pull in a different pink or a different pink? Nope. I didn't have pink in the first one. Yeah, a pink. And then a couple of purples. And this one right here, I don't know why it dropped out that way, but that was such a big dot. So I just took a tissue and cleaned it up a little bit. And if you end up with spots that you really don't like, you can take a Q-tip and some blending solution or rubbing alcohol or whatever and try to clean it up. But this is all I did for this one. I thought it was pretty, but I think I like the bigger splotches of color. Alright, now this is after they've had some time to dry. I'm just folding it in half to make a card base. And then something that took me a long time to figure out is the size and placement of the little card that I stuck on the inside. This is where you'll write your sentiment, and this kind of helps whatever you put on the top of it stand out just a little bit more. So here I am, struggling. I know it probably doesn't look like I'm struggling that bad, but I was. And then ultimately, I had decided I needed a bigger piece in the center of it anyway. So I did pull this one off. I should also add that for the alcohol inks, they're actually on the inside of the acetate at this point. So the outside, the part that I'm touching, is the clean side. Alright, so the flowers I'm using is from a My Monthly Hero Arts kit. If that made any sense. It's My Monthly Hero Arts kit. There you go. And I am inking it up with clear ink. And this took a while because I shouldn't have done things in the order that I did them in. So my paper is kind of preventing a good stamped image. So you'll see I have to wipe it off. Good news is, because I do have the clean side of the acetate facing out, I can take some rubbing alcohol and a little Q-tip and just kind of scrub off the image. Now there was still some like smudgy areas left or whatever, but you really can't see it in the final card unless you're really looking for it. So after I got that cleaned up, I decided not to have the acetate folded over on itself. And then I'm just stamp it down again. I did several stampings, and then I kind of turned it in the light to make sure that I got a good stamping, because you can't see it, obviously. I mean, you can, but not just looking straight down at it. So basically, you watch me make quite a few mistakes, and the reason I left them in there is so that you would know not to do these things. And even though I used my anti-static powder tool, I still had stray embossing powder in some areas, and that's probably largely due to the fact that I just scrubbed it off, which, I mean, I did try to get it to, you know, be fully dry before I did this, but I still had to wipe some off with a paintbrush. And then my image still didn't stamp exactly right at the top, so to fix this so it didn't look so weird, I just took my watermark pen, Versamark pen, whatever it's called, and Embossate pen. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, please forgive me, guys. But I just filled in the rest of the lines and then put the embossing powder over it. And now I'm heat setting it. This is one of those times where you want your heat tool very hot before you take it to the plastic so that it reduces the chance that it's going to melt or warp the plastic too bad. And I think this is where I realized that I needed my paper to be just a little bit bigger on the inside, because the flowers really pop where the white cardstock is. So I ripped it off and started over. Now, because I taped it from the back of my little inside card, it did pull up some of the ink on the back panel, but it really wasn't quite that bad. So definitely plan it better. Future me will definitely plan, if I make these cards again, which I'm sure I will because they were fun, I will definitely plan better for my paper size and my images. And next time I'll probably try to do more die cut sentiments. But this is the Thinking of You die from Simon Says Stamp. And I decided that my blue cardstock wasn't quite dark enough, so I'm just darkening it with some Distress Oxides. This paper, I had die cut it with some adhesive sheet on the back of it, so I basically just made a sticker. And I did the same thing with the white cardstock because I wanted it a little bit thicker. And I do find that adhering them together is much easier when you leave the bottom piece still in the rest of the paper that you die cut it with. It'll help keep the shape a little better. And now I'm just going to adhere it to the front of my card, and this card will be done, and then I can move on to my second card. Now for this one, I'm doing the exact same thing I did with the last one, putting the alcohol ink surfaces together. And I've got my paper, I added it in there first. I'm not really sure why I did that, but I made sure it wasn't inside of the card when I went to stamp my shark and my sentiment from the Friends with Fins from My Favorite Things stamps. Now here, I didn't know what color to do, and I was on the fence between silver and black, and I was worried silver wasn't going to show up, and guess what? It didn't show up very well. But at this point, while I was deciding, I decided I would just go with silver, and I could restamp it if I needed to and put black over it. But then I did not put my card base in the right position to stamp over it. So, mistakes were made. So here I'm just dumping silver embossing powder over it, not knowing I'm going to regret my decision in a minute. And after I heat emboss it, I realize it's really difficult to see. I mean, if you have it like tilted in a certain way, it's not. But here you see my shark is black. I actually took alcohol and I cleaned off the surface where the shark was. I restamped it and then used black sparkle embossing powder. Anyway, these 2 cards are done. I hope you guys enjoyed them. I hope you check out Mirisha's channel or her Instagram page, or both, because she's got some awesome stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!